Thank you, Dr. Susan Young. So now we're going to invite our distinguished speakers to speak on this year's theme, which is mercy, compassion, and tolerance, interpreted through their respective teachings. So for Sikhism, we have Mr. Ishan Singh. You still have...
Good afternoon, everyone. It is a great honor to stand here before you to represent the Sikh religion. I want to thank the organizers for bringing everyone together for the second annual Interfaith Conference. Although, I must say, whoever is responsible for picking the subject for the panel discussion has a great talent for selecting incredibly complex and intricate topics. So last year we tackled world peace. This year we're asked to discuss mercy, compassion, and tolerance, three distinct terms, each of which could be a master's thesis on its own. Now, I suspect all religions will have similar teachings. All religions teach us to be compassionate, to show mercy, and to be tolerant. So what I intend on discussing today is to explain how these themes of mercy, compassion, and tolerance are portrayed in the Sikh religion, how these concepts may differ in understanding or in practice from other religions, but also share with you some stories that may leave you with a sense of inquisitiveness about the religion. So let us first start with compassion. Compassion is a fundamental teaching of the Sikh religion. It is one of the 5 foundational virtues, along with truth, contentment, humility, and love. In today's society, compassion is defined as sympathetic pity or concern for the sufferings or misfortunes of others. In Sikhism, the word that best describes compassion is daya. Daya in Sikhism means more than just pity or sympathy. It's an active, heartfelt empathy that moves a person to help others, to relieve suffering, and to serve selflessly. Daya, or compassion, is given the utmost importance. On page 1245 of the Guru Granth Sahib, it is written, "Compassion is the root of righteousness." This echoes the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the founder of the religion. It means that no spiritual path is possible and no spiritual path can exist without compassion at its heart. Being religious or spiritual is not about rituals, but about how you treat others with kindness, fairness, and empathy. Guru Nanak Dev Ji himself touches upon this theme in Japji Sahib, which is the first composition by Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and is considered to be the most comprehensive essence of Sikhism. Guru Nanak Dev Ji writes, "The goal of righteousness stands on the foundation of compassion." The importance of compassion can be seen at multiple other parts of the Holy Scripture. Sikhism teaches us that daya, or compassion, must be at the forefront of all aspects of life. To be a good Sikh, we must lead a life full of compassion. It is both a spiritual discipline as well as a moral responsibility. One of the earliest examples of daya, or compassion in action, dates back to the infamous story of Sacha Sauda, or true bargain. When Guru Nanak Dev Ji was just a young boy, his father gave him 20 rupees and told him to go and make a good bargain so that he may make a profit. Instead of doing business, the young Guru spent the money on food to feed a large group of people who had been hungry for days. Guruji showed compassion towards those people, but what's more is that he acted upon such compassion. It is precisely along these lines that Sikhism asks us to view compassion. compassion in Sikhism is measured by action. Today we see compassion in action in many ways. The tradition that Guru Nanak Dev Ji started by feeding a group of people is one that has continued for over 500 years. Called Langar, it is a free community kitchen where a free meal is served to everyone without discrimination, regardless of religion, caste, gender, background, or social status. Although the concept of Langar has gone well beyond Gurdwaras. Gurdwaras are Sikh places of worship. So although the concept of Langar has gone beyond Sikh places of worship, all Gurdwaras around the world run the Langar service. As an example, the Darbar Sahib, or the Golden Temple as it's commonly referred to in Amritsar, India, as a single place of worship, feeds over 100,000 people per day. So imagine the impact that all Gurdwaras, all places of worship have collectively around the world. Another way compassion is measured by action is through the concept of seva, or selfless service. It is written on page 298 of the Guru Granth Sahib, by doing selfless service, one attains honor and spiritual fulfillment. This concept of selfless service is to serve others without ego or expectation of reward, recognition, or personal gain. On page 26 of the Guru Granth Sahib, it is written, one who performs selfless service without desire for reward shall attain the Lord. Selfless service can include both physical service, such as volunteering one's time and labor, as well as material service, such as donating money or resources. A unique feature in Sikhism is that compassion is not restricted to fellow Sikhs. On page 1349 of the Guru Granth Sahib, it is written, Aval Allah Noor Upaya Kudrat Ke Sabandi, which translates to, first the Creator created the light. From that light, all human beings were made. In referencing the Creator, the term Allah is used, making it an extremely profound statement that no one is other. We are all one people, and the Creator has made all beings. And thus, compassion must be towards all people, regardless of religion, caste, gender, race, or nationality. And finally, Sikhism doesn't just address compassion towards people, but also towards animals and nature and the environment. Sikh Gurus spoke about treating animals and nature with respect, as all life is created by the one Creator. On page 1350 of the Guru Granth Sahib, it is written, the divine created elephants, oxen, horses, birds, and all other creatures of the universe. And on page 619, the compassionate Lord protects even the lowliest creatures. He delivers them from the womb, using countless means to preserve life. Speaking of the environment, Guru Nanak Dev Ji writes in Japji Sahib, air is the Guru, water is the Father, and earth is the Great Mother. These various verses from the Holy Scripture reinforce that every form of life is precious. Animals are not lesser beings, and the earth or nature are not resources to exploit. They are living teachers and relatives. Next, when we think of tolerance, we understand from the teachings of the Gurus that tolerance is a core spiritual and ethical value in Sikhism. However, following the martyrdom of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, there was a significant turning point in Sikh history. It initiated a transition from a purely peaceful and contemplative community to a faith that embraced spiritual strength alongside temporal sovereignty. The sixth Guru, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, responded to the martyrdom of the fifth Guru by transforming the Sikh identity. He introduced the concept of Miri Piri, representing both spiritual power and worldly justice. He began military training among Sikhs to prepare for self-defense and to protect the Sikh integrity. This transition paved the way for the creation of the saint soldier. Saint soldier, a concept introduced by Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, was further manifested by Guru Gobind Singh Ji, the 10th Guru. He explained that when all other means fail, it is righteous to draw the sword. However, the concept of saint soldier is not so straightforward. It requires one to become a saint first and then a soldier. It is not to be a militant, rather, it is to be a guardian of righteousness, with a sword as a last resort, not a first impulse. Thus, a new Sikh identity was born, one that was not just meditative but also ready to resist tyranny. Guru Har Gobind Ji and Guru Gobind Singh Ji did not abandon the teachings of the earlier gurus, but rather completed them. Sikhism teaches us to live with humility and devotion, to exude tolerance and to accept what is happening as the will of the Lord, but never to accept injustice. And finally, Sikhism teaches us to live a merciful life. Sikhs are taught to forgive, not judge. Mercy is seen as strength, not weakness. God is described as the embodiment of mercy. On page 709 of the Guru Granth Sahib, it is written, "Through all ages, He is the giver. He is merciful." Sikhs should aim to live in God's image, to reflect this trait in their lives, and to be merciful. Ultimately, the concepts of mercy, compassion, and tolerance are interlinked. Together, these values form the spiritual backbone of Sikh ethics, rooted in oneness, humility, and justice. These values are not just as ideals to admire, but actions to live by. Compassion reminds us that our spiritual journey is incomplete unless we serve others. Tolerance teaches us to look past behavior that we may dislike or disagree with, but never to accept injustice or tyranny. And mercy reminds us that true strength lies not in revenge, but in forgiveness. Thank you.